Nice eye patch.
I don't know if anyone can see it, but I swear she gave me the eye patch.
We're Madame Xing together.
You smell lovely.
Thank you.
Is it some sort of MDNA scent?
It's called Portrait of a Lady.
Really?
I know. A girl can dream.
Let's talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You just finished performing Medellin.
Yes.
With Maluma.
Yes. Maluma baby.
Crazy, fantastic, high-tech performance.
Thank you.
When did you start planning and prepping for this?
Many months ago.
Like a year ago.
It wasn't a year ago, but it was a long time ago because the technology had to be explained to me and I couldn't figure it out. I kept saying, no, wait a minute, let's get this straight. And there were options.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's augmented reality, there's virtual reality, there's combinations of the two, but they take a lot of time and preparation and filming and
so much. How long were you in rehearsals specifically for this? To get all the dance moves down and?
Well, rehearsals for the personas on the green screen, a couple of weeks, and then rehearsals for the actual performance by myself without Maluma, a couple of weeks, and then with Maluma, about a week. Yeah.
Okay. And Medellin is the first sort of taste of new music from the Madame X album.
That is correct.
I feel like there's more tastes coming before the main course. Am I correct in thinking that?
There are. We're going to give you a little smorgasbord of
a series of appetizers.
Delights, some appetizers from around the world, yes.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. There's a Swae Lee track.
Yes.
Crave.
Crave, yeah.
Why did you want to work with Swae Lee?
Because I think he's really talented.
Of course.
He is. I think he's a very good writer. I think he's a great singer. And he's so cute. Cute's important.
Cute's important, yeah.
He has good energy.
What was special about the track, and how did the track come to you? Was it a collaboration between the two of you
I
writing
wrote the song with Stara.
Okay.
And it was something that I'd written when I first started putting the record together. And then I kind of put it on the back burner when I started working with all the musicians I was working with in Lisbon. Mm-hmm. And then I went back to wait, let me revisit all the first songs I wrote. And then I listened to Crave. And I thought I need to sing with a man on this song because it's a song about desire and longing, desire and longing. I liked the tone of his voice, so I asked him to be on it with me.
So it started off sort of as a solo song, and then you thought, I need a male voice on here, a counterpart.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to kind of narrow down the number of songs that you had going into the album, or did you kind of go into there with a concept of here are the specific tracks I want?
No, I had no idea how many songs I was going to end up with. I just knew the record was born in Lisbon, and originally I worked with a lot of Portuguese musicians and sang several songs in Portuguese, and then it kind of expanded to different countries, to Brazil, to Colombia, and then intersperse, working with Mirwes, the French producer.
Yes.
So the song it's really a global album.
Yeah.
So.
Do you sort of consider it like a concept album in a way? Because the Madame X personas.
I don't really know what that means.
Well, in the sense of there's all these different personas. The equestrian and the teacher.
But they're all extensions of me, anyways, because I do all those things.
Right.
I believe it or not, I do clean my house, so I consider myself a housekeeper.
Really?
And I ride horses, and I love it. And I can teach you how to do the cha-cha if you want.
I might fall over.
It's saying that I am all these things, but also. The other reason that I named the record Madame X is because it was a name given to me when I was 19 and I first moved to New York by a woman who I looked up to and admired, and she gave me that name because she said she couldn't recognize all my different personas because I kept changing the way I looked. So, and that was in the beginning of my career when I didn't think about who I should be or what I should be. I was experimenting. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like I had come full circle and gave the record that name because I'm in the same frame of mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Who was the woman that gave you the name?
Martha Graham.
Good Lord.
The great Martha Graham.
You went to her dance?
Do you know? I danced in her school.
Yeah.
She was alive when I studied there, and I danced in Pearl Lang, who was one of her proteges' dance companies.
You eventually met Martha Graham in person at some point later.
Yeah. I did, and we met. She was mad at me, then she gave me the name Madame X, and then years later when I was successful, she asked me to give her an award. And we traded stories about those days when I was a bad girl.
You're working with Mirwes on the album. He produced
many other
Medellin.
tracks. Yes.
He produced other tracks as well.
Yeah.
What was it like going back and revisiting working with him after kind of a little bit?
It was nice. It was refreshing because he's a real deep thinking, philosophical, existentialist intellectual,
Yeah.
and he likes to argue and debate.
But
And
do you like that in the
pontificate.
studio when you're writing?
I
and
do
working?
actually,
Okay.
because it provokes thought, which is rare these days, and and then it gives you ideas for songs, and then you dig deep and you start to learn about characters. Like I have a song on the record called "Dark Ballet," which, believe it or not, is inspired by Joan of Arc. So when we were writing the song, we started doing all this research on Joan of Arc that I never knew about, and I mean I learned things about her that I didn't know about beyond the broad strokes that everybody knows.
Right.
So things like that come up. Then we start studying filmmakers or philosophers or, quantum physics or you name it.
This
So
totally translates to pop music, right?
it does,
It does.
eventually.
Eventually.
Yes. So somewhere in that pop music is deep metaphysical thinking.
I'm assuming there's going to be a tour, maybe at some point. You're probably not allowed to say anything right now.
It's been spoken about
Okay.
in such a deep way
Okay.
that I'm actually having production meetings.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's probably happening.
Yes.
May I make a request?
For a song that you want me to perform?
Just to consider.
Just a teeny one, a tiny one.
A tiny one.
What are you missing from the repertoire?
Okay, so you've had 38 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. That is a record.
I'd like to have more.
We can work on that.
You don't like me anymore.
Lady, come on now.
Man,
No, you're my queen.
well, prove it.
Well, I can't just make you do something on the charts.
You can do whatever you want.
Hey, okay, let's get
You're
back.
wearing a patch.
True, the patch can do everything.
Yes.
Back to my question, though.
Yes.
38 top 10 hits, but you haven't performed 3 of them live yet.
What?
I'll remember. This used to be my playground, and Rescue Me. Just consider.
Those were top 1 hits?
Top 10 hits.
Top 10 hits.
I'll Remember was number 2. Rescue Me was number 9. And what was the other one?
I'll tell you why.
This used to be my playground was number 1.
Because they're very laid back, dreamy songs, and they don't usually go in my like,
True. Interlude. I don't know. Rescue Me's kind of punchy.
Rescue Me is kind of dope.
All right.
I'll consider that one.
Thank you, Madonna.
Okay, your love has given me hope. Okay, to quote the song.
The song, to quote yourself?
Yes. Yes.
Well, Madonna, this has been lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you nothing but the best with the new album. And I look forward to seeing you on whatever that tour is that may or may not be announced soon.
Whatever dressing room I might be performing in.
Sure.
Yes.
Dressing
You'll
room?
come anywhere, right?
Of course I will.
Small cabaret,
Of course.
stadium.
At Starbucks down the street, I'm there.
Okay. See you there.
Thank you,
Okay.
Madonna.
Thank you.